Hello everyone. In our today's video, we're going to deploy the frontend and backend part for this e-commerce website. As far as you know, we already created all the functionality and all the designs for this project, and all the code it will be available here in this repository, and the link it will be in the description below. And if you want to know from top to bottom, like from the start to end, how we created that, all the videos you will find in that super gear e-commerce project, the link it will be in the description below, and the playlist is the 5 video is available here, and this one will be the number 6 where we are finishing the deployment. So you can feel free to go through all the videos and you will learn so much things from there. Doesn't matter if you doesn't know anything about React or anything about Marine Stack, you can find your guide way to go through it. And if you already having idea, you will be rocking here. So wish you all the best to go through the project, and please subscribe and like the video. And of course, if you are knowing from the beginning, as you know, we have all the code available here in the part 1. Like part 1 is now in the main, but we're gonna run everything in the main. So the main it will grab entire code, then the part 2, 3, 4, 5 you can just go through with that. So what I'm gonna do is that to get the link from there, so even you didn't fulfill the entire part, you can just continue from here. So I'm gonna clone that from this. So let's just go in my directory over, which is the build directory, and here I'm gonna clone this project. So even you didn't finish any of the part of the video, you can directly just grab the project from here, then you can deploy in your repository, you can make it live, the code is yours. Okay, so now I'm gonna make that one is git clone, and I will just paste my code which gonna link to my repository. And as you know, there is a 2 part of the code. One is that admin, another is the client. So this it will be available in the repo, and now I'm gonna just go through it. Let's go ls to see. So now cd super gear yt. Now we're inside within it. I'm gonna just open it within my code editor. So as you see, it's already opened, and we have our admin, and also we are having our client. So whenever you are just cloning any of the repository from the GitHub, by default you will not get the node module. So this is the 2 project is as in the similar directory. So what we need to do, we need to install the dependencies on both of the projects. So just be careful here when you are trying. So now I'm gonna take 2-3 PowerShell, or you can just go with the git bash. It depends on you. Okay, one will git bash, another will be PowerShell. So now if you put ls, you can see we have admin and the client. Let's cd into the admin, and as far as you know, you can just see here I used pnpm to start the project and to create all other facilities. As you know, the index is just the entry point, that .env file, you need to provide that Stripe secret key, and all the other details how you can grab the key is available in the video on the part by part. You can feel free to go and just play around, and you will having a better understanding. So what I'm gonna do is that pnpm, it will be pnpm I, just to make that installation. And one thing you need to be careful, you see I'm in the main branch. If I just make that git branch to see which branch it has, as you see it's having the main, I'm now in the main. So you can just toggle through all the branch. As you see, you can just go through the like branch 2, 3, 4, but today we're gonna just start with the 5. Now here the cd to client, and I'm gonna make that pnpm I to install all the client-side dependency to run our application. And there you need to remember 2 things very carefully. Whenever you are cloning this project, by default if you start, it will never run. You will get a blank screen. Why? Because in the source folder on that lib you can see one firebase.ts. That's the firebase config, the configuration for the firebase. You need to provide the key here from the firebase, which the authentication, all the things there in the others video. You can feel free to go back there and learn properly. So what I'm gonna do to just install other things, I'm gonna just grab my previous credential and I'm gonna paste it here. So you need to do that part also. So I got my credential, and also you need to do 2 more things, is that if you just go with that checkout btn in here, as you see, I put my publishable key, so you can see that it will not make any harm for me. But I didn't show you another one, which it will be to keep that in that .env file, which will be the Stripe secret key. So these two key you need to provide, otherwise your payment will not work. So first thing is to get the Firebase credential. The second part is to get the credential for the Stripe API. So what I'm gonna do, replace all the things to fulfill my application. Okay, everything is good to go. So all the setup is done. So what I'm gonna do, just to make a demo spinning, let's just make that pnpm start, just to see if everything is running. After that we're gonna deploy. Okay, so it should be I just make the mistake of the command, so pnpm start. Okay, so with that command you will see our front backend should be start running on that localhost 8000. Let's go in localhost 8000 and you'll see all our route will be available, and also one route should be possible to get is that checkout, which we cannot get as it's a post route. So this will be our route. Let's just start the front end part, which will be pnpm dev, and that one, as we use a v to create our project, so it will be available in localhost 5173, and that is our previously the live project. So I'm gonna close that one. As far as we're gonna do is to create the live one. So now to initialize each and everything, what I'm gonna do is that remove my git from the top of this project, because I'm gonna grab my, because there should be the credential should be going there, so I want to make my repo as private. So what you can do the same thing as well, because I'm gonna push each and everything, so the all my credential, it might be compromised if I make it public. So I will just make that repo as private repo. So let's go in the GitHub, and from the GitHub let's just create a new repository. So what I'm gonna do is here it will be super gear YT. Okay, so I will just get my link here. I will make it as public. Okay, it's already exists, so YT deploy. Okay, so now I'm gonna make it as public and create that one. So as far as my e-commerce website is running properly, I'm gonna just hit reload. There is one minor change you need to do also, which I forget to tell you. In that file, you're gonna just get in the client side, you're gonna have one file available, which is config.ts. So in that config.ts, we're gonna giving the route. So as you see, this one was my previous demo route, so that it should not be that. We're gonna provide a production route which you're gonna deploy. So I need to trigger that one as local. So whenever I'm gonna trigger that one as local, it will just go to get the data in my localhost 8000. So now as you see, I'm having my data, I'm having users, everything is working fine. So now what I'm gonna do is that to go and deploy the backend first. Why backend? Because as you see, I need to configure the route here. That's why I need to provide the backend. So as you see, it will be my production code. So I will just give production, and the data, it will just disappear from here. If I reload, you will not get any data here. As you see, no data. So first we will get our backend structure, then the front end. So first let's deploy the code here. So what I'm gonna do, so I'm now in the main route. Here you need to check just one small thing. You just make git status to check if it's initialized. No, it's just in my main route, so it's not initialized. I'm gonna initialize that one git init. So the git is initialized in that particular project, and I'm gonna add each and everything. Now be remember, you should be able to stay in the root directory, not the subdirectory itself. As you see, you need to be within here. Okay, so if I put Alice, as you see, I'm just in the main directory. So don't make that mistake, because we're gonna deploy both sides from the single directory, from the single repository. So now let's put git commit, which will be initial commit. Now we need to link our project. So I'm gonna just copy this portion, and it should be okay, it should be that command, and after passing that, I will just make that main branch as my particular main branch, and then I'm gonna push all the available code which I have in my repository. So what it gonna do, it gonna just initialize each and everything, and my repo is totally clean. So we are going to deploy it in Vercel. As you can go with the Netlify. Now I'm gonna initialize the Vercel. If you want Netlify, let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna also do that for you. So let's open the project just to create a new project from here. Okay, so now here you need to configure with the Vercel. Just you can log in through the GitHub, so it will automatically get each and every single repository. Of course, you need to give the permission for it. Now that's the Supergear YT deploy, so I'm gonna import that one. And now you need to be very specifically very careful here. Why? Because here we're gonna give the route. So this will be our admin, so we want to deploy the admin first. So that's the code where you're gonna get all the admin credential. Now let me check one small things for you people. As you see, there's a vercel.json file. Just cross check either you have that or not. So everything is in the main, so you should have that one. But even if you just somehow is not available there, just you need to have that file, otherwise Vercel will not make the deployment. Okay, so let's deploy our application. Okay, starting deploying. Now it's may need some of the time depending on your internet connection, depending is in your zone. If you are not getting that Vercel, just try to open the VPN. Sometimes it's just getting weird, it's not giving the connection. So feel free to do those tricks which can really help you to boost your morale. So as you see, everything is good to go, and I think it's deployed. Okay, now let's see. Yes, it's deployed. Continue to dashboard. So we are now here. As you see, Supergear YT deploy.vercel.app. That is our backend is ready. So if we just give it a time to load. Okay, as you know, it's just giving some of the problem of loading. It's because of my internet connection. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just use some, like I'm gonna connect my own domain over here. So which going to be admin supergear.reactbd.com. So I'm going to prefer my domain to take action here, by which I should be able to see that one as it's gonna run locally. Let's just give it a time to configure. Okay, so now it's running from my subdomain, and also as I open my VPN, the both things it will work. So now I have my backend structure. If you go to the categories, as you see, the categories available. So instead of using that, I'm gonna use this one, which is going to be admin supergear.reactbd. Now what I'm gonna do in my code, as you see in the front end, I need to make the changes. Why? Because I need to change my structure in the config. So now I'm gonna put that. So I'm gonna fetch the data, and don't use that / delete that, otherwise you will not be able to get the data. Okay, so it will be running here. Let's see that. And now let's go in my local host, which is running, and reload. Okay, I'm getting my data, right? So this is the time to deploy that one in live. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just need to push that code which I changed it. So admin, firebase, and checkout btn. So both all the things is changed. So I'm gonna make that git add dots. So particularly add each and everything. Okay, and now git commit, just a simple message, and it just make git push. Okay, so now it should be okay. Why is not going there? Let me just see. Okay, everything fine. So now let's just start deploying the front end of our application. So to deploying the front end, we will go our what you call it in Vercel. So let's roll back to our project directory at the top. So from here we're gonna deploy another new project, and that will be also from the same repository which we use. So that will be from the same things here. So previously we already deployed the admin. This time we're gonna deploy our client application. Okay, so let's just take a new project. Sometimes it's just you need to provide a little bit time. Don't be freak out for that, it will be all right. So now let's import. and we're gonna import the client side project this time. So that will be, let's add it, and it will be client. So let's deploy each and everything of our project. Okay, and maybe you should have some error here. I know that could be possibly be there, because it should there some of the import which actually I keep it as purposely. So I'm going to show you what the error it will be, and I'm going to resolve that one in front of you, then you can get that things how it should be done also. Okay, so packages installed. Okay, cool. Okay, resolve 402. Okay, going good. So here I actually like the interface of the Vercel is giving us such a very good facility to showing whatever the things is happening. Now here is the trick. As you see in the page of cancel, there is we declare the React, but we didn't use. So that's the things you need to check. So if we go back to the cancel page, so it will be cancel. Now here we use that React, but we didn't we just import, but we didn't use. So what we need to do, we need to remove. So you can just go through all the files, but you don't need to go, because I'm gonna keep push that one, but feel free to go with that. Also you're gonna have exploration of how the things is going to work. As you see, the current user, we didn't use it, but we just import that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove all the parameters, all the import things which is not necessary, but means we didn't use, but we import. So you also need to do the same. Remove all the other unnecessary import. I keep it just for your practice, how you can resolve the error, and then go by yourself. So I'm gonna just finish that, then start again. Okay, I resolve all the error from there. So again, I need to do the same trick, which I'm going to do git add dot, and then git commit, which will be Vercel error resolved, and then git push. So now after pushing through, you just need to go and check our deploy scenario. So let's go just root in the project, and that's already available here, which is just committed through that Vercel error resolve. So let's go into the project, and now I will just check my deployments, which is not successful yet, but is now in the queue, so it will start again. So let's see if it's working or not. Okay, it's building. So let's just see the log. Okay, it's loading. Just provide some time with that. Okay, it's running again. Okay. Okay, all the things is just installed perfectly, and everything running properly. Okay, one more thing is that page, I think that's the minor error. It should ignore that. Okay. Yeah. Everything is good to go, and I believe we are having our application. Okay, let's just open that one. As you see, everything is running properly. So we are here in the application, and if it's not getting the data, don't freak out for that, because remember, we are having that issue just to getting the loading issue. Okay, so you will get the data. Maybe you will not have that problem. Maybe I'm just having only, because by default, as you see in our local host, we are getting the data here, right? So it should be also appearing. It's only the link issue, because it's not generating like it's okay, let's see again. Okay, as you see, yeah, now see, the data is overpowering. So it just simply can be the connection error, can be some of the problem with the data rendering and others. So now if I just roll back to just log in here, I believe I have my account. So let's just create that and keep logged in, and all the things, it will work properly, perfectly. You can just go through it. It will be so simple and so easy. Okay, so now also the payment authentication, the other parameter, it will work, but you need to make two changes again. So let's just in orders, I believe in that account I have some orders previously, so I will be able to see that. So we will just go and make one checkout. And why I'm gonna make that, because I'm gonna show you how it will work. So as you see, this is in the live project, right? But in our locally, we need to change something. So this one I didn't prepare, because as you see, we have one config to maintain, either it's in running in local or in the live. But you also need to maintain one config over here, because whenever we make the checkout, as you see in the link which we have been provided, the success URL, which is going to be that localhost 5173 success, but it should not be there, right? It should be just dealt within our application. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also change the domain name for that one. Let's go in my super gear or in the project structure over here. Now I'm gonna change the domains from here. I'm gonna use my subdomains just to go and trickle on that. So it will be supergear.reactbd.com. okay, added. Okay, so let's just see if we can open the project here. Okay, we are having the project. So now in that link, I'm gonna just copy that, and that's the link which I'm gonna provide in the backend. So it will be here. Instead of that success link, it should go on that success link. Okay, and also for that cancel link, it should go on that cancel link. If you just made something on that, your application gonna collapse, because all the setup, all the available things we did after finishing that success. Okay, so you need to be keeping that mind. So now let's put again, so it will be git, let's just deploy in that backend. So git add dot, and then make that git commit, which should be success page added. You can just write your commit as you feel better. I'm just gonna go in a super way on that. So now what it's gonna be able to do after successfully deploy and deliver it, we can be able to do that. So after providing that, you just can wait a bit because it will deploy, then the admin, it will be run again, right? So now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna close all other parameter, which is no longer necessary because we are now applying everything in live. So now let's see in live if it's working or not. So this is, we are in live. So let's just search for some product. As you see, it's all are coming from our live database. So let's just buy. Okay, good. So we can see our card. Okay, one thing is added. Let's go in category, explore the headphones, and now we can just add one headphones. Let's go in the shop where we can see all the, as you see, spinner is also available because it's loading. So now that's the beauty. So everything is working fine under the hood. So all the things is appearing perfectly, and you can just go to your Firebase dashboard to see your users. You can go to other parameter in your like the Stripe dashboard to see the Stripe payment, but I will just go from simply from here. So let's just log in with that simple. Okay, should be okay, gmail.com, and here I'm gonna just provide my password. Oh, so what's wrong with that? Why is coming an autocorrect? I don't want that. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's really giving me nuts. Okay, I don't want that, but it's empowering to have that. Okay. Oh, okay. Now it's cool. Okay. Okay, now I logged in with my credential and I can see my account here as well as my previous order, which I have 3 orders available. So what I'm gonna do, create one more order, and if I click on the checkout, so previously you may be able to see it's happening in the local host, but now it should be appearing to go in the live session. So all the properties, all the parameters, we should be able to just get in live. Now you can do one more thing to make that happen. You can just directly pass the credential to your for the Stripe secret key. You can go and grab that key. You can just put it directly here in the checkout file without keeping from the process.env. Then it will work perfectly. And either you can do one more things. If you just go through your project setup, then over here in your project, you can do similarly. One possible scenario is that to deploy the .env. Okay, just having, you can just go over here in the settings, and over settings you can just pass that environment variables there. So I think my net connection is a little bit crazy now, that's why it's not loading that much. But you can just simply go and directly pass that value here and it will work. So let's just go while it's loading a successful payment. If we can do that, as you know, we have been just happened to be 3 orders here, so we should be able to see one more order if we just go and grab the successful payment checkout. So now we are in directly in the live, not doing in locally. So okay, it's loading. Okay, now we are in the Stripe payment checkout section, so we will be able to create a checkout. So as it my previous card is saved, so it will just coming like that. I can also add several payment method. I can go with that, but as you see, okay, I can cancel also. I can just go and choose my previous one which is selected and I can pay. So after finishing the processing, means after successfully the payment, 4280 should be available. And okay, now as you see, success session which is not coming back. I'm not getting one page here which should be able to get the success page, but it's not providing. But before going that, let's just go back there and see if I'm having that particular orders is available there or not. So it should be able, the 4 orders should be available. No, it didn't happen, and there is, I'm facing some error. First let's fix these things. Why is 404 not found is coming even I have the pages? Okay, to resolve that issue, we need to just go to work a bit. So that should be, as you see in our client side, as in the in our admin side, we have one Vercel config, Vercel JSON file. So we will also just create another file which should be that Vercel.json, I think so. Yeah, JSON. So now here I'm gonna just rewrite the parameter which is going to be rewrites, and on that rewrites I'm gonna pass an array of objects should be available there, and that array of object going to be just go with that source, and that source I'm gonna just go and programmatically gonna pass all the available source there. So it will be just go with asterisk. Okay, so now here I'm passing the source properties so it can grab my source, and also I'm gonna pass that destination, and that destination it's going to be starting from index.html. So as you may remember, in our that project we have one HTML file, so that's the HTML file which we need to redirect here. So that's the things we need to arise there, so that so that our friend over there in Vercel they can access that. So I'm gonna add that one, git add dot, and similarly git commit and Vercel, let's say JSON added, and now I'm gonna pass that get push. So after passing that push, we should be able to see that our code is working properly. So just give it a bit of time to just publish that one. And by the way, you can pass that your environment variable on that particular tab. As you see that environment variable, you can add your okay, it's still not loaded. I don't know what's wrong with my internet today. Okay, so whenever you click on that environment variables, it should be available here. Okay, now you can pass that like you can make that next Stripe publishable or the secret key, then you can pass the value here and add it. So with that, even you put it in the .env file, it will work. So let's go in our deployments, which the new deployments is working. So let's see if it's just doing all right or not. Okay, it's working. Yeah, it's just ready. Just now it has been ready. So let's just go and make a reload here. If we reload, it should be available, right? Our page should not go away, it should stay. So even we reload, it will not disappear. As you see, now it's working perfectly. I think, yeah, now it's good to go. So if you go in the super gear, okay, and also just grab one more product, and if we go back to our cart, if we refresh, it's still there. Okay, so till now it's working good. So let's go in our checkout screen. Now let's see if we make a successful checkout, what's the response it's gonna arise. Okay, so we dealt with that possibilities. So after finishing the checkout, we should be able to redirect to our success page. So let's pay, and after paying, let's see what it gonna do. Okay, processing. So don't just be patient, because I think the delay is happening because of my net. As you see, now we are landing in our success screen, so we should be able to see now it's loading, means it's gonna dispatch each and every action. And if we go to the orders, we should be able to see 4 orders. As you see, that's the I think okay, as you see, 2, 3 and 4. Previously we had 3, now we have 4. So you can just go through by, I think that's the last one, which we have yeah, 4360. So you can go and learn how a bit you can change more things, how you can do more random properties. And by the way, all the code, it will be available here. So I'm gonna just keep that code, everything, all the scenario, which will be perfect for you. And that thing's going to be added there in the link, which will be in the description below. So the link you will be see in the description, and also you will see the link other properties. And please go in the Super Gear e-commerce project. You can find all the available videos. I think this project may be helping you to grab something new and understand something better way. So feel free to like the video and share if possible, and also subscribe the channel, because next is some other more new project is coming, which also can boost your morale. And please stay tuned with me. There is a lot of other things coming in future. So all the best for this project, and I hope in very soon I will be able to come up with you another next project. Okay, we'll see you next video.